There's always increased tourist attractions in Ghana, and we have a lot more tourists flocking into the country, but many of them are internationally based. Now, how do we encourage domestic tourism? But what generally is the overall outlook for the tourism sector? Well, helping us to do discussions this morning is an official of the Ghana Tourism Authority. And we have in the studio the Acting Executive Director, Samson Donko. Thanks for joining us. And David Daneinim is also President of the Ghana Tourism Federation. And thanks also for joining us. How are you, gentlemen?
Fine.
Yeah, okay. Now I have to ask you, Mr. Samson Donko, what's the current outlook of tourism in Ghana in terms of receipts and what has been at least chalked in success for the year?
Well, I would say that tourism continues to grow steadily. Based on figures of 2012 and 2013, we've seen a percentage increase, about 10 to 12% increase in tourism arrivals and receipts. So I would say that, yes, the industry has been growing steadily as we have already always projected.
What have been? Do you have the figures on hand, or not necessarily?
Not
necessarily.
No.
And as a federation, how do you complement the role of the tourism authority?
Thank you. Before then, let me take the opportunity to say Merry Christmas and New Year, Happy New Year to my cherished, fans, my minister, the tourism minister, and her deputy, and my children, my family, and everybody. Yes, when you look at the LI 817, it talks about the public and the private sector coming together to see the development of tourism and then coming out to make sure that tourism is sustained in Ghana. Now, GTA and then the Minister of Tourism, the public sector, whilst we are the private sector, and the three work together because the Minister of Tourism is the policy makers. Of course, if they are having this policy, the private sector is part of it. And then the GTA are the implementers. And when they are having this implementation, the private sector is also part of it. So you could see that we work together. We work in hand in hand.
Okay. And now, would you say, Mr. Donko, you're satisfied with, as far as the inflows of tourists in Ghana?
Well, I wouldn't say we are satisfied with the inflows. The reason is that we could have done better. If you look at the extent of our marketing, which is far below that of countries like South Africa, Seychelles, Mauritius, and others, if we improve our marketing and promotion aspect, we will get more people coming to Ghana. Yes.
But there's always a concern that the facilities we have around are inadequate, and the sites we also have to attract when we undertake the marketing are also not well developed.
Yeah, I admit that. But we should also not lose sight of the fact that we have different types of visitors. There are those who like to come to a destination which is yet to be developed because they want adventure, because they want to also hide from others. The moment that destination begins to attract more people, those people will not come there again. So currently, as we are attracting at least the adventure tourists, and the business tourists is also one of our biggest markets in Ghana.
Let me add to what he said. Like I initially said, that the private sector and the public sector work together. You cannot do marketing, effective marketing, without thinking about the training aspect. Because when you look at even Ghana, you go to most of the tourism sites or the facilities, you could see that service delivery is very, very low. Why? Because very, very poor. One, because we are not seeing tourism as it's supposed to be seen. Go to the countries like Thailand, go to the country like UK, because they are focused on tourism. They know tourism generates a lot of income to GDP. They always concentrate and focus on tourism. And government release a lot of funds to support that. But here in Ghana, I think these are some of the challenges that we are facing. Basic training. And it's the private sector who is also handling this kind of facilities. About 70% of the facilities is being owned by the private sector. And this is where we believe that it's time the government has to come and then look at the private sector holistically. Some of the NGOs have come, like COVID and others have come to support the private sector. But I think that it is not enough, because training is what matters as far as marketing is concerned. If you're not able to have an internal training and external training for the industry player, I'm telling you, we can't get to wherever we wanted to go. Because, for instance, if somebody has a facility and the facility is not being regulated as it's supposed to be, you see the person bringing the grandchildren, the father, the auntie, the junior, who is even JHS student to handle the facility. The person has no knowledge about tourism.
So it means that we need to take tourism.
Exactly.
Okay.
You need to take tourism
Mr. Donko, on the states level, do you think that there's the commitment? Okay, of course, I shouldn't be asking you because you are the chief executive. You'll be very diplomatic about it. But realistically, if you are the head of an institution and you want the sector to grow, then you give us more insight. Do you think that perhaps the commitment has been there? And even futuristically, if it's not been there, can it ever be there?
Well, in the past, I would say the commitment wasn't enough. But with the introduction of the Tourism Act, Act 817, which has also transformed the Ghana Tourist Board to Ghana Tourism Authority, and has also introduced the tourism levy, we believe that with the levy, which is to be used to resolve some of these challenges, we will be able to get there. So for some of us in the industry, we believe that there's a future for the tourism industry, especially with the introduction of the tourism levy.
We do understand that, but the point is that when the sector is expanded, then levying players within the industry becomes something worthwhile. For example, just even before the conflict, I think Egypt ranked among one of the most toured countries around the world because of course, the heritage sites they have, etc., and the culture also. But there's also the issue that Nana raised about the commitment of the states. Because by 2006-07, Egypt was raking in over $6 billion a year from tourism.
Yes, in terms of the commitment of the state, I would say that yes, for the introduction of the Tourism Act and the Tourism Levy, we are fine. We will still need more commitment because tourism is a capital-intensive venture. You need to invest in infrastructure. You need to invest in other facilities before you can even attract the investor. So we are still expecting that more will come from the government so that we reap what we have sown in the tourism sector. Otherwise, what we are reaping now is inadequate. So I would say that we need more commitment in the sector.
Because I was raising the subject about countries that commit. You have traveled a lot, and I have also done some bit of travels with you, touring, especially in some African countries, example. What are they doing differently that we're not?
Basically, I think we are doing the same thing. I think for now, Ghana is now focused, I can say for now, because the commitment is there now. Look at the time we went to, I can't remember, with you to Togo.
As well as Benin.
To Benin, as well as to Benin. You could see that what they have, we also equally have it here. But all boils up to marketing and packaging. How do you market it? How do you package it? Now, we took a trip we had an invitation to Kenya. Kenya after the crisis. And what they did was to take us through, all the historical side that they have. The idea was to let Ghana know what they have. And I think this is the time that we also have to sit down and look at the kind of product that we have. And then how do we package them? And then after the packaging, how do we market them? And then who are the target market that we are looking at, target group that we are looking at? Is it the old the old system of maybe targeting only American because of the historical
perspectives of the slave trade?
Of the slave trade? No, we have to go beyond that. And that is why now the Ghana Tourism Federation, together with GTA and the Minister of Tourism, have sat down. Now we are putting onto the roadmap as to where exactly do we go from here. And I think that we are doing basically a lot. We have even, Ghana has a lot of potentials. We have a lot of tourism potentials here in Ghana. But like I'm saying, we are putting heads together, 3 systems with the able leadership of the minister now. We are putting heads together to see how best we can bring it to.
Yeah, you were talking about a roadmap. Tell us the roadmap now. As an institution, as an authority, then you are spearheading all these issues. Of course, if you get a complement of help from the ministry.
Yes, currently...
What's the vision now? Or what's going to be the vision?
Yeah, what has been done is that the Integrated Tourism Development Plan has been reviewed from now to the year 2027. And that plan is to be made a national document. That is, it will become a document for the development of the tourism industry.
Oh, we've heard it before. Documents for sectors. They don't work, do they?
They do.
What really can be more implementable in the content of those ones?
They do. You see, as I said earlier, initially, we were dependent on government subvention.
And now?
And it was difficult for us to make any investment in the tourism sector. Currently, with the tourism levy, we are looking at putting resources together to be able to develop the industry based on priorities. So I think that with the introduction of the tourism levy, we are one step ahead. And